So I was saying in 1976 I came to Buddhism. Then I came into Theravada Buddhism. But then after a while in 1977 I met this American monk, disciple of Master Hua, came from America, city of 10,000 Buddhas, and he was going to various places in Malaysia. And he came to Kuantan, and he was quite a person, in the sense that he had a master's degree from Stanford University, and he was a tall, handsome guy, 6'3", ex-naval officer, and he had a wife, and he gave up his wife to become a monk, and he was a very good meditator. Sometimes he would ask this layman to bring him to the beach, and he would sit there and meditate quite a while. And so after he left, he went back to America, because that layman was bringing him around. I think gave quite a substantial donation to his monastery. So he sent a whole lot of books from America, and these books were on Mahayana Sutras, translations of Mahayana Sutras, but also what was very impressive was the biography of Master Hua. And of course it was very impressive, and at that time, being new to Buddhism, you kind of believe everything. So I swallowed everything, and was so taken up by this teacher that I was very impressed with this idea of compassion, vegetarianism, the Bodhisattva ideal and all that. So I went along that way, started to practice and study more Mahayana Buddhism. At that time, I was working, and I started to become more and more serious about Buddhism, and started to think of that the best thing to do with life is to become a monk. So I had my goal of becoming a monk in the city of 10,000 Buddhas. So I realized that if you become a monk there, and they were supposed to practice certain things like eating one meal a day, sitting, sleeping. In other words, you don't lie down. You don't ever lie down. So I started to practice that even as a layman. So I started to practice these things that was expected of a monk. So I started to eat one meal a day and vegetarian. And I had to work at that time, so I used to go for lunch with my office mates. And then they would order their meals, and I would order. There wasn't much to choose from in the first place. So for example, if I wanted fried noodles, I ordered fried noodles with this tauge, what do you call that tauge? That the green peas with that, the fresh green peas and shoots, yeah, and nothing else. So my office mates were quite surprised that, and so it was always like that, if I ate rice, it'd be like I choose only vegetables to go with the rice. At that time I didn't know much about nutrition. So because of that, my hair started to fall, which frightened my mother. And later I started to practice one meal, this sleeping, sitting up. That was out of the 13 Dutangas, that's the hardest to practice. And it started this way. If you try to sit sleeping up, it's really difficult. So what did I do? I lean against the wall. And then when I lean against the wall, when you start to fall asleep, you fall this way, or you fall this way. And I thought that's not very satisfactory. Then I moved a bit away from the wall. And then sometimes you fall forward. That wasn't so bad, but the worst was when you fell backwards. suddenly, your arms go like that, and it's like you almost get a heart attack, especially when you're half asleep. And then I tried other ways, like I put two chairs, one on each side. I put a plank in between. Then I rest myself on that plank. That wasn't so bad. Didn't have to fall. And then later, another way was to ease yourself onto the bed, and you put your arms and your head on the head and on the bed, and then your legs underneath the bed. So I tried all these ways, and it was very taxing. It was very taxing.